That's right, and sticking to the world of sports, we're kicking off this morning with something truly special. Now, Kyle Clark spent some time deep in the Kruger National Park at Tsukuane River Camp, where the Blue Bulls were locked into pre-season training ahead of the 2025 Currie Cup. Now, after an explosive 2024 season with 54 tries and only 2 losses, the Bulls are very determined to go all the way this year, and what better way to strengthen team spirit and tactics than in the African bush. So we sent out our very own Kyle Clark on the ground as the team gets ready to work.
We're at Tsukuane River Camp in Kruger National Park, where the Bulls are in full preparation for their 2025 Currie Cup. Now, if you remember last year, they came in runner-up in their regular season, scoring 384 points. And between myself and you, Feel Good family, you know for a fact that it was an all-attack season with only 2 losses. Over the next couple of days, they'll be focusing on their fitness, attack and defense modules, all while building unity for that 2025 trophy. Coach, looking back at 2024, I think you guys had an all-attack season last year with only 2 losses, which was magnificent. Tell me, how do you believe that you're going to build onto that this year in 2025?
I think one of the pleasures is that we've got a couple of guys that have returned and also some exciting youngsters. So there's massive excitement. So that excitement we need to just build on and make sure we don't lose it throughout the season.
We're at Tsukuane River Camp, which is such a serene place, especially for building camaraderie and also unity. Is there any specific areas that you guys want to focus on from last year up until this year?
Look, by nature, we've seen that we're going to have less weeks to prepare. So the best thing we can try and do is get as cohesive as early as possible. And what a better place to do it at, limited Wi-Fi. You can still chat to people at home, but the massive thing is that we're spending time with one another, getting to maybe see the other side where we wouldn't necessarily see when you go home. So now we spend time together and we grow together that way.
No Wi-Fi, we are in the middle of the bush. Is there anything that you specifically hope to take away from this camp for the boys?
The biggest thing for me, we talk about process and everything else. I think if I can appreciate your story, the guy next to me, either side, left and right, in front and behind me, I think then I'll give a bit more. So that's what we're trying to do, just go a bit deeper than what we normally would in understanding one another. And that for me would be good enough walking out of here.
My personal goals and motives, I think, it's just to keep things the same and as consistent as possible for me. I'm a guy who plays off confidence, and I build that confidence by doing things that I say I'm going to do. So, my stretching routine, how I eat, and how I prepare for the game with analysis and everything. So, yeah, those are all things that are within my control. And going a little bit beyond that would just, to be involved in every game that's in the campaign. I think I haven't had as much game time, and I'm very, very hungry for that. So just want to get stuck in and play as much rugby as I can. So I think the shift in a team perspective for the 2025 season is for us, just to take it game by game. I think last season we were unbeaten for about 8 games, and then we had an undoing of 1 game, and that's when things sort of started to fall apart for us, losing in the semi-final. But I just think need to be as consistent as possible and just take it game by game. We've got an exciting batch of youngsters coming through and also old heads. Everyone just wants to be all in and give it all for this team. So I think that's the shift in terms of not being, too focused on yourself, but focused on what we can do as a collective. Personally, what I wanted to adjust, going into this season, it's probably not so much things that I'm doing on the pitch, but I think things that I'm doing off the pitch. So with my injury history, I've really been trying to find ways to strengthen, those small neglected muscles, specifically my spine. So in the holidays, I started doing Pilates just to strengthen my core, to work on my mobility, and hopefully I can be consistent with that and see what it does for me on the pitch.
Look, obviously last season boys made it to the final. They had a really good, the whole season was good. The last game doesn't determine the season, but I think moving forward from that, we can build a lot. We can take a lot from that, knowing that we have the ability to make it the whole way. We just have to learn to convert the points when the final moment comes. And also on that, we just also have to learn to be in the moment. You don't know how many finals you're going to get to play. You don't know whether it's your last one. Some boys got injured. They missed the final. So from my side, I think the boys did well. Shouldn't beat themselves up. One game is one game, but from there we can build a lot. Look, in terms of team building and stuff, a place like this is really vital because you're spending a lot of time, you're not going away. There's also no real signal, so not a lot of times on the phones. The boys are chatting, learning about each other, where you're from, background. So all those little things add on and they make a big difference on the field, because if you back someone off the field, just imagine how much more you'll back him on the field.
That was like a good time.
Yeah, and the manne there looks stack, I must say. I was wondering where they get all this gears and where they get all this power from. Clearly, it's out there in the veld in Kruger National Park, of all places. We're going to touch to another moment of what's happening at that camp. And thank you so much, Carl, for bringing the latest.